for new episodes. Hey, welcome to That Shit Was Poetic, where we touch on all things poetic, like music, poetry, art, movies, quotes, and famous poets. I'm your host, Nikki. So your girl is back, and I'm glad you guys are joining me for another Friday. And I hope you all had a great week. But guess what? Guess what? You get to catch this vibe with me. So let's get into it. Today we're talking about men being taught how to make money, how to get women, cars, materialistic things, but they're not really taught how to love as children. And I think that affects the way that men mature. I think that affects the way men mature into relationships. It really was something that, came to me. I was listening to Devon Franklin's audiobook, and he said something as far as men are not taught how to love, men are taught how to make money, how to get women, cars, and things like that, but they're not really taught how to love or how to love themselves. And that really stuck with me, and I wanted to discuss this on this Friday's episode. So I would like for you guys to, chime in, let me know your thoughts, leave me a voice comment. You can go on my Instagram, leave me a message on Instagram, or you can make a comment on my Instagram. But I really wanted to, dig a little bit into that conversation a little bit because, I feel I definitely can agree with Devon Franklin when he says that. And based off of, relationships that I've had in the past, and based off of relationships that I've seen family members or friends, dealing with in the past, I can say, you know, a lot of times men are taught, how to go to work, how to get money, but they're not really taught how to nurture a woman. And I think that goes back to childhood. You know, men are not really taught how to nurture. Women are the nurturers, and women are, the child bearers. So it's almost like it's a natural instinct, but I don't think that is something that can't be taught. I don't think that men can't be taught in the home how to treat a woman, how to love a woman, how to um basically be in touch with your feelings. You know, I think when you grow up in a single parent home, a lot of times those things get bypassed. They don't really get taught. Sometimes it's hard, but I think it's very important. I'm a single parent, and I try to make sure that I teach my son, how to be in touch with his feelings and let him know, like, you know, your feelings are important. Other people's feelings are important. And to remind him of that. I don't want him to be so closed to think that, you're a man and you can't show emotion. And I think a lot of men feel like if you're a man, you're not supposed to show emotion. I don't really know what that is about. I don't know if it, like, the harder you are, the less emotion you have to show. But, you know, it's kind of hard when you're in relationships and, you're disconnected from a lot of things in the relationship. Like, you know how to come home and take care of the household, you know how to pay the bills, and you know how to do all these other things, buy gifts and things like that. But are you really in touch with your woman or your wife's emotion? I think that goes vice versa. Like, a woman also has to be in touch with her man's feelings and emotions, check on him, see how he's doing, you know, tune into his feelings. If he's had a bad day, or if he's feeling a certain type of way, tune into his feelings. So I definitely feel like, it's not just check in on your woman, but also check in on your man as well. And for a relationship to work, it has to be two parties being able to come together, making a sound decision that, we're going to both recognize each other. And if one person is not being recognized, that's when problems in the relationship start to happen. And especially if you have children in the picture, like, you have to show a balanced relationship in order for your child to thrive and be able to know that it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to, express how you feel. And I think that's something that's very important. Um, in the Black community, it's a lot of that lacking. A lot of single parent homes, I can dive deeper into that, but I'm just going to say we all know that, this stems back to slavery. A lot of the two family homes were broken up. So from then on, families were torn apart, and it made it hard to try to raise a family being on your own. So people start disconnecting, and men, being disconnected from the family. Their only goal was, try to how to survive. You know what I'm saying? So I think now men are just surviving. You know what I'm saying? People are just surviving. But we need to tune into our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts. A lot of anxiety is going around. A lot of mental disorders are going around. But I think, people need to start tuning into their feelings and their emotions, expressing their feelings and emotions, and finding the best way, to release. So let's get into music and entertainment. How many of you heard the new Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion new song? I guess it's called WAP. I don't really know if it's W.A.P, WAP, wet ass pussy. I don't know. I don't know how you call it. How do you pronounce it? Um, but I hear that it's getting a lot of opinions. And my thoughts on it are, I think the song's okay. I mean, it wasn't one of their better songs, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like Cardi B's better verses. Um, I liked it, but I wasn't a big fan of it. But I would say the opinions that I have been reading are, it's too ratchet, it's too explicit, too raunchy, too sexual. And my thoughts to that are, we've always had explicit, raunchy, sexual songs for I don't know how long. We've always had them. We've always had entertainers, in the music industry give us that explicit record. You know what I'm saying? Especially summertime records like Luke, for example. Luke was one of the most explicit music artists of my time. Like he had those records that had you looking like, oh, I can't play this around certain people. And I guess Cardi B and Meg, like, okay, we putting something out like that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Definitely, you have to monitor who's listening to it. If you have children, they shouldn't be listening to it. Um, if that's the type of relationship you have with your children, if they're mature enough to handle lyrics like that, you know, so be it, to each his own. But we've always had explicit music, and it's just entertainment. I think people are really sensitive because of the climate that we're in, as far as, everything that's going on in 2020, the pandemic, as far as racism. Like, racism is really at the forefront right now, and which is a good thing that is being acknowledged. We got a lot, more growing to do, but it's good that it's being acknowledged right now. But I think that's why people are overly sensitive as to why this song came out and why it's so explicit. You know what I'm saying? But thinking about the type of artist that Cardi B is, Meg Thee Stallion is, there are explicit artists. So I don't really understand what's the hate, what's the negativity for. But what are you guys' thoughts on that song, Wet Ass Pussy? I don't know how to, like I said, I don't know if it's WAP. I don't know. I don't know. But what's your thoughts? That Shit Was Poetic has merch, guys. If you're excited as I am, please head over to thatshitwaspoetic.storeenvy.com. That's STORENVY.com and grab our 11-ounce mug. If you're a coffee or tea drinker, listen to our podcast and sip your favorite beverage. If you love this podcast, please support our merch. Do you ever just think to yourself about someone in the past? Ever wonder what they're doing, how their life is? Are they thinking about you? If they ever thought about you? Is that a question that lingers in your mind about a certain person? I know for me, I can think of one person in particular that sometimes I wonder how they're doing. I wonder, how their life is. And I guess it's a question because you don't really know. You don't really, if you have the opportunity to, find out previous relationships or different people in your life, like how they're doing, and you actually know how they're doing, I think is something that you don't really think about. But when you don't know, there's that lingering question. Like there's one particular person that I think about sometimes and I'm like, I wonder how their life is. I wonder how they turned out. I wonder if they have children. The last time I saw this person, I was pregnant with my son, and we got to reconnect, and this my son is 15 now, so that was a long time ago. And I don't even know if that person has children or not. So it's funny, but I always wonder how their life turned out. Do you have someone that you wonder about how their life turned out? So yesterday I went live. If you didn't get the opportunity to check out that live, go to my Instagram page. That shit was poetic. I had my first live on Instagram yesterday, and we covered a few topics on there, good questions. Also, I will be trying to go live every Thursday. I'm going to try to, so don't hold me to it, but I'm going to try to do it every Thursday. It's called Poetic Shit Thursdays. And, I'm just going to have a bunch of different topics on there. I'm going to read some of my poetry on there. It's going to be a little different from the podcast, but tune in every Thursday on Instagram Live for Poetic Shit Thursdays. Also, if you're trying to sip while you're listening to this podcast, I am a seller of One Hope wine. And One Hope wine, for those of you who don't know, it gives each bottle purchase gives back to a different charity. So if you are a nonprofit or if you're thinking about having a party event, hit me up and we can discuss how we can have One Hope wine at your event. Like I said, each bottle gives back to a different charity. So you're giving back through wine. So anybody want to join my team, just hit me up on Instagram. That shit was poetic. You can email me, that shit was poetic at gmail.com. I'm pretty much on every social media platform. So it's not really hard to get in contact with me. If you're not following me on That Shit Was Poetic on YouTube, head over, like, subscribe, comment, share. You can find previous episodes of That Shit Was Poetic podcast on there. You can also find how-to videos, and pretty soon I'll be uploading videos of my lady chat that I have with a few girlfriends of mine, and we just sip wine, we just sip and we conversate, and I'll be loading that pretty soon. So look out for that. I'm pretty excited about it. We had our first video today, and we talked about some good juicy topics. So stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel. So if you're not following me, go to YouTube and subscribe to my page. That Shit Was Poetic. So thanks for tuning in to That Shit Was Poetic. I'm your host, Nikki, and tune in every Friday for new episodes. To check out our old episodes, follow That Shit Was Poetic on all streaming services, Spotify or Google Play, or follow us on the Anchor app to leave a comment. To be featured in our podcast, email or DM us on thatshitwaspoetic@gmail.com, or follow us on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.